Now, this is all highly theoretical, and if I didn't drink so much this New Year's, I probably wouldn't be telling anyone this. But I do have a couple plans knocking around for how I would destroy the Earth, kill all of humanity, and proceed to consume the entire universe, as was my original plan before discovering that this world is full of so many fun things. Now, before we go much further on discussing this plan, there's still the matter of what can I actually do? You don't expect much from these bread bodies I've been showing everyone. That's intentional. The actual Eldritch Horror part of my name is much larger. If you see a bread body, essentially any amount of darkness within the, oh, say, 2 mile radius of that body, it can be considered to be a part of me. Now, you'd be wondering why darkness. That's because sun is so annoying. It emits so many photons and so much energy. It's almost impossible for me to exist on it. In honesty, I'm more of a glorified black hole that's sentient than anything else. A energy being that exists wherever external forces of energy aren't too much to overwhelm me. So I hide in darkness and inside these bread bodies. That being said, I can also, if anything does wander into darkness foolishly, I am able to pull it apart on a molecular level. That's actually, I learned this pretty recently. It's quite interesting how I feed is I rip things apart on a molecular level and absorb the energy from the fission reaction. I actually didn't know that before I dove into the research that humans and immortals have done. Anyway, the main parts of my plan, with that all out of the way, is there are several weaknesses that humanity has shown to me that are easy to exploit. First is the ocean. Second is the moon. The third is you yourselves. Now, one of the biggest problems is sure, I could slough off to a outer exoplanet and start eating that, consuming it piece by piece to grow in strength and move inwards into the solar system before finally getting to Earth. But that gives everyone time, and that's time I don't want you to have. So, while I'll be at my weakest, I will also be at my strongest because you won't be expecting an actual attack. Which means I should definitely start on Earth, and what better place to focus on but your oceans? After all, they're just big globs of water that without you wouldn't really have much water. Like the whole water cycle is dependent on there being a massive sink to drain into. So it's easy enough to make a armored bread, something that a sphere made out of actual steel, iron, probably do titanium with enough time to assemble this body, and just chuck it with the ocean. So long as there's a vacuum in the middle and it doesn't bend under the pressure of the internal vacuum or the water around it, if it gets to the bottom of Mariner's Trench or another deep spot of the ocean, I can eat my way out of it by sealing a little bit of essence at the middle and just start slowly draining the ocean. Now, at the same time, the other issue is the moon, and unfortunately, I'm just not big enough to deal with both of these at once. I can either drain the oceans or chip away at the moon, but not both. Of course, the plan of the moon is that if I can get to the dark side and burrow inside of the moon, which easy enough, just eat away at the regolith. If anything is fully surrounded and consumed by darkness, I can rip it apart easy enough. And then once I burrow inside deep enough, then I can start burrowing outwards. Make micro fractures in the moon, enlarge them to large size fractures, and then eventually fracture the moon into a million little pieces. Now, the plan is at first I drain the oceans. That will be something large enough and destabilizing enough to take all of humanity's focus towards that event, that can get it to a point where most of the earth is sand and seabed exposed to the elements. And then I can focus in on the moon, and once I fracture it into 1,000 pieces, hopefully most of those will go inwards towards the planet where they'll strike the exposed sand, kicking up a worldwide dust storm. And at that point, well, there's two disasters going on at more or less at once. Then it's just a matter of hunting specific people, heads of state, important voices in the community. Well, maybe I just go and eat some monuments one night. With the dust cloud obscuring the sun, I'll be able to work more or less completely at will. Won't have to deal with that damn sun anymore, or all the energy disrupting my being. And then it's just a matter of hunting humanity to extinction. The one thing humanity has proven, they cannot work well during a crisis. 2020 has proven that well enough. Just have to keep them distracted, causing problems across their various states to keep them from realizing what I'm working at. And then they'll fall. Divided, alone, and without any hope. And once humanity's out of the way, that's the only people who could, in this universe, who could really stop me from eating everything else. And I have full reign on the rest of the universe. Of course, granted, it's a good thing that I am completely taken by your media, because this is the last thing I would want to happen right now. Oh God, all these games and shows are so fun. I couldn't even imagine life without them. Well, anyway, Happy New Year's and good luck.